What's up? Today, the name of the game is improving thoracic rotation. Why is it important? Who's it going to be beneficial for? And then there's also a nice follow along mobility routine that you can do with me if you want. Let's get going. Hi, and welcome back to Hero Movement. I'm Luke Jones, and today I'm going to take you through a mobility routine for improving thoracic rotation and just general thoracic mid-back mobility. Why is that important? Because of modern day living, sitting, hunching over phones and just being all bleh. The mid-back is an area that often gets pretty jammed up and we lose a lot of motion through that area, through those joints. When this happens and we can't really rotate as well as we should be able to do, the lower back is often the place that takes the brunt of it, and we end up rotating through there and rotating more through the neck, and that can cause low back pain, neck pain, and just a whole load of cascading issues, which is not nice. So if we can get more mobile through the mid back and have more control of that range of motion, then we're going to be relying less on the lower back to stabilize through there, have a strong, healthy low back, mobile hips, freedom of movement, and all that good stuff. The other big thing is if you do any sort of sport that involves rotations, you might throw in a punch or swinging a golf club or a cricket bat, or basically any sport involves rotation. And this is going to allow you to improve your technique and be more proficient at your chosen sport. So enough talking, let's go get stuck in, do some mobility work. Follow along with me. If you do this routine 2 or 3 times a week, or you use some of these exercises before your sport in your warm-up, it's going to help and you're going to start to see benefits. Let's get going. So we're going to kick things off with a foam roller. If you don't have one, then don't worry too much. You can also use 2 rolled up tennis balls, or you can skip this first bit and join in with the rest of the routine. You're still going to get a lot of benefit. Before that, actually, I'm just going to test our thoracic mobility. We're just going to check in, see how we feel. It's always a good idea before you do any mobility work, just to see what's happening with your body at any given time before you just jump in and start doing a load of stuff, because then how are you going to know if it's actually made any difference? So you can start by going through flexion and extension. So whether you're standing or kneeling or sitting, roll forward into flexion and then bring the chest bone up to extension. Just going to go through a few of those, just see how that feels today. It's going to vary from day to day. Whether you've got any stiffness there or whether it feels fine. Just noting, taking a mental note, and then more importantly, or just as important, we'll look at thoracic rotation, which is what we're going to be looking at improving today. So we're looking to keep the hips pointing forward, keep the head in line with the torso, don't just be turning your head and cheating. Shoulders are back and down, and then seeing how far we can comfortably get around. Mine is quite stiff today. Did a little bit of surfing yesterday, and that tends to stiffen me up through the mid-back. So you're just noticing what sort of angle you get your upper body to, just roughly, before we get stuck in. So now, let's grab the roller. I'm going to come onto our back on the floor, and we're going to start with the roller at the base of the thoracic, so where the ribs, where you can feel your ribs starting on your back. So we're not right on the low back. We're somewhere around by here. Just get comfortable. And then I'm going to start with the arms across the chest to begin with. I'm just going to rock gently from side to side. You might find one side feel a bit stiffer than the other. Whoa, I've got some stiff ribs on that side. That is not fun. Then we're going to move into some extension over the roller. So keeping your core tight, trying not to just flop over it. And if it's comfortable for you to do so, I'm going to reach the arms up overhead and just gently bend back over. If you need your hands here instead, that's okay too, or they could just stay across your mid back. So we're just gently getting some motion through those segments. We're not looking to force anything. You can rock from either side, and we're going to shift up a segment, repeat the same process, or rock from side to side. Just gently mashing those tissues a little bit. Nice and slow. Nice, slow, steady breathing as well. I'm going to start extending. So you might get a few little clunks here. That's okay. We'll move up one more segment. You could spend longer doing this. If it feels comfortable, and feel free to. You might need to support your neck a little bit if it starts to get tired. You could put some cushions underneath as well. Just going side to side, nice and easy. And then once more, extending over. This is a great one to add in before any hand balancing stuff. Improving your overhead mobility as well. I quite like using it for that. So chuck your roller. I'm going to start with some gentle mobilizations. First one is the classic cat-cow from yoga. We're not looking to really work into extreme ranges of motion with this one. We're just trying to get a little bit of motion through the back to start with. So on all fours, your hands are placed under your shoulders, directly in line, and then screw your arms into the floor a little bit. So your elbow pits are pointing forwards. A little bit of tension through the core. Then we're going to drop the belly button down a little bit, or think about dropping the chest down. We don't necessarily want to be just arching through the low back and then craning the neck up, because then we're just creating more motion through here and through here. We're trying to focus this as much as we can through the mid back. So just trying to drop the chest down a little bit. When we're here, I'm going to take a big deep breath in and a long slow exhale. As you exhale, try and pinch the shoulder blades together. Do it again. Pinching the shoulder blades. And reverse that motion now, and we're trying to push up through the mid back. So you might have a few segments that are a little bit stiffer than others. So trying to get kind of a nicely shaped dome, but there might be some straighter edges in there. And that's okay for now. So we're just pushing up through our shoulder blades. We're going to take a couple more deep breaths now. So breathing into that space. And again, nice big deep breath. Slowly move back and forth through those positions now. Inhale as we drop down. Exhale as we push up. We do a little side bend now, so if we find kind of a neutral position, so the spine is sort of as flat as we can get it. Just gonna curve, just have a little side bend, so you're looking back towards your bum. And you're also kinking your hips out to that side. And then we'll swap it, the other side. So just looking over your shoulder. And try as best you can to get that movement, to focus the attention of that movement through the middle of the back, as opposed to just the hips and the neck. The third one we're going to go through is threading the needle. It's a nice little rotation exercise just to get a little bit of motion. So we're going to stay in that all fours position. You can come down to your elbows if it's a little bit easier. Up here might be a little bit too much range of motion for now. So start on the elbows, and then we're going to reach your right arm under and kind of drop your right ear towards the floor. We're focusing on that reach in action. Come back up. And we'll swap to the other side. To the center. This time we'll reach to the side. Big deep breath in to the mid-back. Exhale and return to center. Shift back a little bit. Same on this side. Reaching through. Nice big deep breath. One more on each side. What you might notice is as you breathe in to these positions, you might get a little bit more range of motion. And then it's kind of opening up the space for you to move into and to improve that range and that flexibility. So this next one is almost like wringing out the mid-back, like it's a sponge or a rag. There's all that tension just being wrung out. Picked it up off Scott Sunnan, and it can be a little bit tricky to pick up to start with, but persevere and you'll get it. So we're going to start with the arms in this T position, and then the left shoulder is going to roll forward, and then we're going to roll the right shoulder back. And the body will the torso will kick out to the side a little bit, and that's okay. And we'll come back to the center. Then the right arm's going to roll forward, the left arm's rolling back. I'm just going to repeat that. And always try and not just turn from the shoulders, but the shoulder blades, if that makes sense. So we're really trying to wring out that tension in the mid-back as best we can. Nice big deep breath in as you turn. Exhale to center. Inhale to turn. Exhale to center. Inhale, turn. Exhale, center. Inhale, turn. Exhale, center. One more each side. Last one, inhale. We're going to move into a kind of a lunge twist now. So we get into a low lunge position. Get comfortable. And then we're going to be looking to rotate towards the front knee. So we're going to use this leg as well to help with our rotation. By being in this lunge position, it keeps the lower back a bit safer, so we're not rotating through the lower back, which is not ideal. So the Right hand is going to come onto the left knee, left hand up onto the thigh. Shoulders are back and down, that's important. We don't want to be kind of rolling forward like this or leaning forward. We're in a nice upright posture and shoulders are nice and relaxed. Then we're going to start to initiate a bit of movement through the thoracic. Just rotating to the left as far as is comfortable. And remember to keep those shoulder blades squeezing together. Back to center. Just rep through this. Give it 8 reps. Just trying to keep upright and keep those shoulder blades pinching all throughout. A couple more. So on this last one, we're going to stay in this position. Going to take a big deep breath into the ribs, like really trying to fill the mid-back with air. And then as you breathe out, you might get a little bit more motion. I'm going to repeat that again. It's a nice big deep breath in. Really squeezing those shoulder blades together to try and drive that rotation. We're trying to use the core to bring us round. Big breath in. Use that core. Just hold here. 3, 2, 1, and then slowly come back to the center. I'm going to switch sides. It's important to try and use our core as we're rotated, because we don't want to just build range of motion. We want to be able to actually use that range of motion. So that involves activating those obliques, all the core muscles that are involved in rotating your body. So we're not just hanging out there. So left hand comes to the left knee, right hand on the right thigh, shoulders roll back and down. Scratch your eye. Then we're just going to slowly rotate for 1, 2, 3, squeezing those shoulder blades, 4, 5, 6, nice and upright, 7, and 8. So you can do the drill. Nice big deep breath. And exhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Use that core. And again, nice big deep breath in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And last big deep breath. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades, keep using that core to rotate. 3, 2, 1. And we're good. Whoop. I'm just going to fall over. Here we're going to do one more rotation drill, and then we've got a nice core strengthener to finish. So nearly there. Hopefully it's starting to feel a little bit more loose. So we're in this lunge position again. Just going to kick the plant over. Lunge position. This time it's a little bit of a longer lunge, so we're leaning forward more. And you can have the back knee down if you are a little bit more mobile through your hips. You might be able to have that back knee lifted. So we're going to plant the opposite hand to the front foot. So left foot's there, so we're going to plant the right hand, roll that shoulder back and down, and then we're going to open up. So this is one of my favorite mobility exercises. I included it in my top 3, I think. So we're extended up through the thoracic. It's even more challenging if you've got that the rear leg lifted. And then what we can do is almost thread the needle. I'm not going to have as much range of motion. And then come back up and squeeze. So again, we're trying to really use the core and the muscles of the mid-back to initiate that rotation. Nice if you breathe in as you rotate, and exhale to return back to center. Switch legs. Planting left hand now and right foot. Trying to make sure that shoulder doesn't roll forward here. So we're trying to keep it rolled back and down. There's no tendency to creep. So keep an eye on it. So we can reach forward, reach through a little bit, and then extend it up. So we're really trying to reach and create a big arc. Again, using that core, using the muscles in the mid-back. Couple more on this side. Lovely jubbly. So we're going to finish now with a strengthener. Those last two exercises had elements of strength, but this one is a lot more focused. So it's going to be a plank where we're resisting rotation. So when we're looking to improve our strength through rotation, we can also use exercises that are sort of anti-rotation, resisting rotation. Activates kind of the same muscle groups. So with this one, it's a little bit challenging. If you're completely new to strength training, to core stuff, you haven't done much of that before, you can just do a kind of a knee plank. So we'll start here on the knees, hands are planted, core is tight, so as if you're trying to zip up some tight jeans. You're trying to get your belly button to touch your spine, and you can just kind of lean forward here. So that's option one. Option two is then going to be to do the full plank, but with your feet wide. So we're not sagging through the low back, we're not arching up, keeping nice and tight through the core. So you can hold that position. What we're working up towards for specifically improving thoracic rotation is going to be these plank hand lifts. It's really important with this one to try and keep the hips parallel with the floor, so we're not kind of rotating as we're lifting the hands. So it's going to be easier the wider your feet are. We're making sure our shoulders are strong, our hands are planted, our elbows are facing forward, our core's on, and then we're going to lift one hand at a time. Just going to do 4 at a time. A little rest, shake your wrists out. If you tried that and it's a bit challenging, then you can regress and just hold that plank. Or you can try the hand lifts on your knees. If it was okay, if it was easy, then I'm going to progress to bring the feet a little bit closer, and same again. So we're trying to keep the hips parallel to the floor. Shake the wrists out a little bit, and go once more. Up into that plank. And there we have it. So you can obviously go for longer with those drills. You have more sets, to particularly the core strength and stuff at the end, if you want to turn it into more kind of a conditioning thing. But for a light rotation-based mobility exercise, it's not bad to just kind of touch on those areas and not use it as a way to tire your body out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope your mid-back is feeling a little bit more mobile. So what you can do now is test or retest those motions that we did at the start. I know for me, it's improved quite considerably. Well, we've done 10-15 minutes of mobility work. So if you can do that consistently, 2-3 times a week, 4 times a week, then you're going to start to see progress that lasts and isn't just straight after the session. It's going to last for days, for weeks, for months, and then become your permanent or more consistent movement patterns. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, and don't forget to share with your friends if any of them do any sort of sport and you think they could benefit. I'll catch you soon. Have a healthy, heroic week, and yeah, see you soon.